Hey, and good morning, Tube friends. Sunday morning, good day to all. Very smoky outside and chilly too. Might get rain Monday, I think, but otherwise, Portland area is going to be socked in with flames. And even worse is the people that are displaced because of them. So, pretty big story on the West Coast. You don't hear a whole lot about what's going on. You would think that we would have some national, federal support for all of this, but oh well, I'm going to rake the woods after this video to help out a little bit. So, looking for engineers. Just out of curiosity, where the profession of engineering, where is it out there in the real world? What does it do? Where am I, since that was my primary role in most of my professional career, was engineering activities. Engineering and the sciences, oddly, as far as pay and professional rankings in federal government, is the same thing, engineer and a scientist. You'll see the group together, and the specifics, they separate them out. I know they separate them out because there's pay scales set with those things. Very good pay scales. So, engineers, where did the word go? I would bet for most people you're thinking of a locomotive and a guy with a funny hat, which is fun, bless the hats. But engineering, it has disappeared almost. Although people are looking for engineers. After having quit 10 years ago, I got an offer to come apply for a job. So they've got to be desperate. They've got to be desperate. But engineers, where are they? Now, we sit down and use every practice and every principle within the sciences. We create and develop methodologies and rules. We sit around and we see the new thing over there, and can it be applied over here? And if it can be, how can it be? Are there legacy interactions, old systems, new? So, engineers, some of the stuff we do, nothing I sat down with didn't impact people and people around it. So there were considerations of so many aspects, from the fumes coming off an oil drum, the fumes coming off a robotic sealer cell, the dust coming off of weld cells, the type of tips on a weld cap for a robotic welding application. Is it an AC or DC weld? Is it an arc weld? Spark weld? What kind of wires? Engineering. So you design these things, you think about them, and you put them together, and all of a sudden you've got an ice wall that only is 80% efficient when your design's at 100%. Your design target was 100%. You wanted this to work the first time, and 5, 6 years later, you're at 80%. The reason you're at 80% is you can't get any more money for this because it's gosh darned expensive to do. So, engineering, where are the engineers? Where is the bragging about this? It was rather interesting in visiting Europe how much more interest there is, how much more you hear about engineering endeavors, deep sea work, oil rigs, mining, oil rigs, drill rigs, all kinds of these things come out. If you notice, major oil spills, the high tech rovers and undersea vehicles, the majority of them came from Denmark, Sweden, European countries. Very high tech, sophisticated engineering systems, engineered systems, not science systems. When the scientist is done with this thing on his bench, engineers take over and figure out how to make it useful, because it probably isn't at the moment the science is done with it. So you engineer. You try to make fluidized bed reactors using molten salts with radioactive materials, and learn that the beds themselves, those materials can't withstand it. But the fluidized bed works within a coal plant or within a trash recycling facility, or other ways, other times you want to burn things, melt things. Fluidized beds, we know how they work. It's just applied to what people think of in the nuclear world, they don't work so well. So, engineering. Maybe encourage kids to get involved in this. There should be earth sciences themselves. We should have some of those best schools and universities understanding how this old planet works. And we have Betsy DeVos is an education secretary. Republican politics has done nothing about this. Democratic politics is helpless. Wonder why. Morning rage. I feel better, folks. Peace is out.